Hey guys, it's me Ola, and today I share the review of the BlackBerry DTEK50 so you can decide if this is the right phone for you. But before I begin this video, I really want to thank love.co.uk for providing me with the DTEK50. If it wasn't for them and their kindness, I wouldn't be able to do so many videos about it. So if you really need or really want a BlackBerry DTEK50 or any Android device, then please check out their online shop on love.co.uk and check them out. They have great deals and a lot of phones on offer. So if you're interested, go ahead, the link is in the description below. But let's get into the review and let's again group this video into the outside of the device and into the inside of the device. So let's start with the outside. It's a very nicely built phone with a glass front, a nice rubberized back and an aluminum frame surrounding the whole phone. On the left side it has the power button. On the right side it has the volume button as well as a convenience key, which I will get into later in the video, as well as a SIM card slot and micro SD card slot. On the top it has a 3.5mm headphone jack as well as a microphone that is cancelling the outside noise if you're calling somebody. On the bottom it has another microphone which is for calls and a micro USB port. On the front and the back of the device, on the top and the bottom, you will see very small speaker holes, and it's a very nice feature because the BlackBerry DTEK50 does have stereo speakers that are facing to you and are facing away from the phone. So if you have your phone laying on the table facing downwards, you are able to hear nice audio quality, but if you have it facing towards you, you also get nice audio quality, so that is a nice feature. It has two cameras. It has a front-facing camera of 8 megapixels, and that one is really nice, especially compared to the BlackBerry Priv. When I first started the front-facing camera, I was really amazed. It did have some detail, the color temperature was very nice, and it just was a nice picture in general. And with the BlackBerry Priv, you don't have that. And it has another nice feature that I think no other phone manufacturer has, and that is a front-facing flash. So if you are taking your selfies in the darkness, you won't have any problem at all because you have a front-facing flash. Like, tell me any other phone that has that, except for Alcatel. On the back it has a 13 megapixel camera with a dual colored flash. So that means it has a warmer flash and a cooler LED, so if you take pictures in the darkness, they won't look that unnatural, they look a bit more natural, if you can say that. Image quality is good. It's not as good as the BlackBerry Priv with its 80 megapixel camera. The pictures look good, especially if you take them in bright sunlight, but if you zoom a bit closer, you see some grain and some noise. But otherwise, those pictures are totally usable for everyday life. If you're just posting to Instagram or Snapchat or Twitter, whatever, those cameras are totally good. On the front, it has a 5.2-inch Full HD display, which is only Full HD. Some people wish it would have Quad HD. Yes, of course, Quad HD is nice, but 1080p is totally enough. I don't see any pixel on the screen. It's not an AMOLED screen, it's just a normal display. And that means that the blacks aren't really black, they're more like a grayish thing. And the whites aren't really white, they're also a bit grayish. So the colors don't look as good as they do on the BlackBerry Priv, but it's totally usable. It's a very bright display. And again, for everyday usage, it's good. Also in the sunlight, you are able to see a lot on this display. And that is also a thing that I like. So that's it for the outside of the device. I think we talked enough about the outside. Let's get into the inside of the device. And there's a lot to talk about as well. So the design of the BlackBerry OS is very stock Android-like. It looks a lot like the normal standard Google Nexus devices, but BlackBerry has put in some effort into making it just a bit better. They put in the features that they have on the BlackBerry Priv and also some apps that really make this phone very secure and convenient. So they put in their apps like the calendar, contacts, tasks, or DTEK by BlackBerry. And I will want to specifically talk about DTEK by BlackBerry because it's like the most interesting apps of all they put into the phone. So DTEK by BlackBerry is an app that monitors your security level of the phone. So if you have a screen lock, if you have a PIN code, if you did give too much information to some apps that you downloaded, and then it will monitor and show you how secure your phone is. You can also tell apps what they are able to access and what they're not able to access. For example, if they are able to access your camera, your contacts, your microphone. And DTEK by BlackBerry will also notify you if an app is suddenly using the camera, for example, without you knowing. So very convenient if you're concerned about your security. But it's not just an app that makes your phone secure, it's also the chipset that is in the phone. The chipset combined with the apps make this, as BlackBerry says, the most secure Android phone in the world. They also added some features like pop-up widgets. So if you swipe down from an app icon, you can show a widget. This is an extremely convenient feature because I'm able to scroll through BlackBerry very quickly, or Twitter, or Spotify, or whatever. It's just very convenient. And a nice feature as well is that it doesn't fill up your home screen that much. You can just swipe up from an app, swipe down from an app, and then the pop-up widget appears, which is great. I like that. I really like that feature. Another feature that they integrated into the BlackBerry DTEK50 is the productivity edge, which, to be honest, I don't really use. So you swipe from the side and it opens a quick summarization of the calendar, the hub, tasks and contacts. So you can easily get a quick overview of all the messages you have and where you still have to go to a meeting in the calendar. So it just makes your process of getting through the OS a bit quicker, but I don't know why, but I just don't use it because I can get quickly into the BlackBerry Hub by pressing the convenience key. But that is just a feature that I programmed to my convenience key. You can program the convenience key to anything you like, anything you've ever dreamed of. But no, to be honest, you can program it to open an app like the camera or the hub, and you can even program it to lock or unlock your device if you don't like the position of the standard power key. So how fluid and fast is this device? I didn't have any problem, and I'm very surprised because I've read so many messages and I read so many news about the DTEK50 that it just isn't a very fast phone, that the processor isn't that good, it's only a mid-range device. But yeah, of course, I'm not a heavy user. I only use it for social media, for YouTube, for messaging. So I don't play any heavy games on it like other people do. So I really didn't have any problem. And I think 95% of all smartphone users, or maybe 97% of all smartphone users, will be totally fine with this device because it does everything you want it to do and it does it very fluid. It has 3 GB of RAM, which is nice because you can have several apps running in the background without any stutter. That is great, and I noticed that. The Priv also has 3 GB of RAM, so they're kind of similar in that category. So if you only need to do messaging, some social media, and not play any heavy games, then I think this phone is totally enough for you and very nice. The BlackBerry DTEK50 also has the BlackBerry Hub installed. I talked about the Hub many times, but I'll do it again. They updated the Hub for BlackBerry just last 1 or 2 weeks ago, and it now features pinch to show unread messages, and it's also a lot faster. It just opens much quicker than it did before, and that makes it much more convenient to use. And especially with the convenience key that I programmed to the BlackBerry Hub, I can get quickly into the BlackBerry Hub, see all the messages that I got today, yesterday, or last week even, and have a quick overview of all the messages. And I don't have to go through every single app I have installed in order to find a message I accidentally swiped off in the top section notification thing, you know what I mean. And that is a great thing. I like that about the Hub. But of course, the Hub on BlackBerry is nowhere as good as it was on the BlackBerry Classic or the BlackBerry 10 operating system. Because if you click on a notification that you got in the Hub, that is, for example, from Instagram, you click on it, you will get taken out of the BlackBerry Hub, you will enter Instagram, and then you're totally out of the Hub and you cannot get into it again very nice and fastly. And that is what I don't like about the BlackBerry Hub, because it's just not integrated that nicely into the Android operating system as it was on BlackBerry 10. Of course, the BlackBerry DTEK50 doesn't have a physical keyboard, it only has the virtual keyboard, and that is fine for 95% of smartphone users because they always use the virtual keyboards. But me personally, I really enjoy typing on physical keyboards. I'm much better at writing on physical keyboards. But it has the BlackBerry virtual keyboard installed from factory, and that is the best in class, as they say. And I agree with that because it has nice features. First of all, the keys of the keyboard are nice and big so that it's easy to type on them. And you get suggestions for words on the top of the small letters, so you can complete the word you maybe wanted to type by just flicking up from that letter, and the prediction or the word that was predicted will get into the text message. Holy shit, what a stupid description. And there are other features. You can swipe from right to left in order to delete a word, and that just makes the typing experience quite nice. Not as nice as a physical keyboard, but generally quite nice. So I personally like the BlackBerry DTEK50. It's a phone that is very quick, it's a phone that is fast, at least for my things that I use it for. So not playing games, it's not productive anyway, but it's nice. The cameras aren't the best, but they're okay to use if you use them for general things like Instagram and you don't want to print them or anything. Of course, it does look like an Alcatel, and many people criticize that about the BlackBerry DTEK50 because the Alcatel can be had for much less than the DTEK50. But I think BlackBerry really incorporated their design language, their OS, and also their security into the phone. And also the rubberized bag really make it a nice device, and the security is something worth paying for. It is the chipset that makes the phone so secure. It's not just the outside that is from Alcatel. So I think the price isn't that high, and for the phone you get, it's a good price to pay, to be honest. So that's it for the BlackBerry DTEK50 review. Sadly, I have to send it back at the end of this week. And at this point, I want to thank Glove Technology again for providing me with the BlackBerry DTEK50, because without them, you wouldn't be watching the BlackBerry DTEK50 review. So if you're interested in buying the BlackBerry DTEK50 or any other Android phone, then go to their website glove.co.uk and check them out. They really have nice offers and a lot of phones to choose from. So go there, the link is in the description below. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like it if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you want to stay updated with the newest videos about BlackBerry. I post a lot in the recent days. And also leave a comment in the comment section below if you like the BlackBerry DTEK50 and if you would buy it. So see you in my next video. Let's see if it will be about BlackBerry. I don't know yet, but I'll see you there. See you then. Bye.